in a real life that people can fight like that and survive all those nightmares. Probably only Navin
And
and you,
and
Doug,
Joe,
and you, Doug, for sure.
first and foremost, I'll forgive you for Mortal Kombat 2 for your short appearance. So the Furious more than make up for it.
Yeah, that was like huge ensemble. So a little bit of a little bit of a piece of the cake for everybody.
Not enough of you. Okay, let's talk about the Furious. When you read a script these days, what do you look out when you flip through the pages? What do you look out for?
Yeah.
The scenes that allowed you to act to stretch your dramatic muscles, or the action scenes?
I think it has to be both. Yeah, for me, well, there were a third the rate 15, 16 years ago, and then people kind of like recognize me as an action guy that can do action. Like a lot of scripts are mostly just focusing on the action, not really try to like tell a story as a whole, because I believe action itself not supposed to be the main dish. The action needs to complement the story. I think that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of great action movies is always that kind of formula, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I've been very careful. If you see my portfolio, I don't do a lot of action movies. Sometimes like once a year, once in 2 years. So for me, the balance of story and action, and then knowing the people that working behind it, really, sometimes you can track the records of people of their work too. And you realize, oh,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing this type of movie or they're doing that type of movie. So I'm quite careful of picking next project, and I've been doing it for so long, and I'm okay because I love quality better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what is about the Furious that stood out when you first read the script?
For me, I'm really into, I don't know, like a father-daughter story. For me, it's always because I'm a father of three kids. It's always
Mm-hmm.
like it always gives me the best impression. So father-daughter story, and then I love my kids so much, and then I don't know, somehow it translated when I hear about this as child trafficking going on in the story, and I believe that story is very important to tell. Especially, I live in Jakarta still, in Southeast
Mm-hmm.
Asia region. That's still happening, and well, until now. So that
Mm-hmm.
kind of topic also for me, human trafficking, sort of thing that has been going for so long. I want to amplify, the message, and then mostly people kind of like they're not really into film like slow burn drama about this, and this is
Mm-hmm.
action. I know for sure a lot of people gonna straight away gonna enjoy it in the first 5-10 minutes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think is a perfect genre to tell that story,
Mm-hmm.
because people are gonna enjoy the action. People are gonna enjoy all the visual amazing thing that Kenji Tanigaki did with Sonomura songs, the choreography. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, there's a message, a beautiful message, especially if you live. Well, we both live Southeast Asia. These things be
Mm-hmm.
going has been in Southeast Asia, certain countries. I don't want to say which one, but yeah, I think it's that's the pull. Father daughter human trafficking, child trafficking, and a super action movie that we call it, because this is, I don't know, probably for me, never heard about Kenji Tanigaki working with Sonomura side by side.
Mm-hmm.
They're both like the maestros, and then they're working
Mm-hmm.
together for one project.
Yeah.
Echo Films, Bill Kong, who produced a lot of my great action films I grew up watching Titan
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Hero. So
Yeah.
it's a dream. It's a dream script. For me, first 10 pages. That's it.
I
Yeah.
was telling a friend after I watched the movie, I said, this applies to some of your Indonesian action films. After I watched it, I felt like I need to shower and I need to take a tetanus jab because it's so raw, so visceral.
Yeah. But it's so
I'm just
beautiful
wondering.
too. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's like a dance. It's organized chaos. I wonder, and you have
Yeah.
so many fight scenes, and all the time I'm watching it, I say, nah, this can't be choreographed because it's so chaotic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of all the fights and all the on-screen fights you fought with Xie Miao, Yayan, Brian, and Joey. Do you
Joey.
have a story to tell with the most which are the most interesting fights? I mean, they're all intense, no doubt,
Yeah.
but I don't know which one is the most intense.
Well, I think for a lot of people who've seen the movie, the final fight, five way, probably, that's the
Yeah.
like the craziest fight, and that is true. That's probably the first time. Even me, like I watch a lot of action movies. That's probably the first time we see two. Okay, I don't want to say this. Sorry, if you see something that's so complex and raw, but also beautiful, and then like long cuts, long takes most of the time. That's probably something that I agree is probably the best fight in a decade for sure. But why my personal that if I really like a fight, I think my first for me personally, the first fight me one on one with Xie Miao,
Mhm.
because that's something that I was so worried with Kenji, because Kenji said like your fight style, you're a journalist, you're not a kung fu master, you're not like like badass martial art expert, but you're a journalist, but you have a background of sport that you've been doing it with your wife. You guys like but not like Shamiao is like the kung fu master, Navin is a journalist slash someone who can survive, but he needs to really survive. So in the story of like doing judo, I told Kenji that people not gonna understand this, because people are gonna think, what is it? Because judo is not really like like karate, kung fu, or all this much. Judo is quite niche. Not a lot of people know how judo fight. Not a lot of people watch a lot of judo competition. So for me, I was worrying. Kenji, don't worry. This is something. That's why we have to do it. We have, if they don't know, we introduce them, and then we tell them this is a fight, that this discipline of fighting, and this is discipline of fighting, and then we will tell that story. We will work it out with the choreography, telling that story without lines, without verbal, without dialogues. So in order to do that, it means these two fighters reading each other because they don't know. And then me doing my discipline. And Shemiao is also very careful, knowing that, okay, this guy is a judo guy. I have to be careful with my sleeve. I have to be careful with my collar. And then, and if people, a judo guy or MMA fighter, they're probably going to understand straight away. But also at the same time, educating action fans. Because I know for sure a lot of people are still probably not going to recognize what kind of fight is this. And then to be a movie that can recognize and probably could amplify a certain martial art discipline, I think is also something that we want to do.
I spoke to Mark, the Cascos, last year.
Yeah, yeah.
And he acted with you in The Warrior, and we talked
Yes.
about how that show propel you guys as actors and more than
Yeah.
fighters, because that show
Mm.
really is. I'm really sad that it doesn't have another season, but
Oh, thank you for
it's
watching
a great
Warrior.
show. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a
no one
great
talks about
show.
that enough. Yeah.
It's
So
crazy, right?
what
That's like crazy.
what are your memories working on Warrior? I mean, looking back now, and what will you miss? What do you miss about that show?
I love everything because 3 seasons, man. 3 seasons in Cape Town, so far from most of us. And then the family vibe, the friendship, I don't well, I love that family so much. I think I miss every single thing, the process of shooting the show. Um it's very hard, especially TV show. It's very hard, that that you're gonna work with people that love you and you love them back. And I'm very lucky because Warrior is my first US TV show. I haven't before that. I haven't done any shows, TV things before. And then Warrior was the first. I was a bit nervous because a lot of my friends said, like, you're gonna stuck there for a couple of years. If you don't, you gotta make sure they like you, don't like them. Oh my God, it's very hard to work with people if you don't like them and they don't like you. So, but I was so, I mean, like, I was so lucky, throughout the process of 3 years, every single thing. I gotta say, the crew, the place, Cape Town is just such a beautiful city, and people who really love storytelling. That's why I mean, that's like you told me before that Warrior is not just action. There's a storytelling, strong message going on. Action is trying to complement all those big messages, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the action is there, but if you really watch Warrior, it's not about the action. There's a politics going on. It's a war. It's a chaos back then in San Francisco in the late 1800s. La la la. So costume amazing, production values are yeah, is amazing. So it's very rare to have that kind of show. And then I don't know why the
Mm-hmm.
world kind of put it in a niche, niche box, because that show's supposed to be like one of the best action shows ever.
I looking forward to your co-star Andrew Koji in Street Fighter. I know everyone's been asking because you guys have,
Yeah. Yeah, he's my
uh,
brother. I'm happy for him. I think he's perfect as a Ryu. I think no one can play Ryu except Andrew Koji. And then we talked about it. He was here a couple of months ago, early this year. He was in Jakarta in my house. We hang, you know, holiday. Took him to East Indonesia, tried Indonesian culture, foods, culinary, and then he loved it.
you're remaking a Korean movie, Man from Nowhere.
I'm involved as
Yeah,
the
it's
creative.
announced.
Yeah,
That's a very popular Korean movie, and
that's my favorite one. Yeah,
I remember the fight scenes as well. It's very
true.
it was
Yeah.
early. It's like imagine him as Liam Neeson and John Wick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is it? Do you have a ever what is your take on that film? I mean, how are you going to approach that a
Well,
film that's so beloved?
I love that film. I'm a huge fan of that action movie. And then after I finished Swordsman back in 2017, 18. Yeah,
Hmm.
2018 probably. No, no, no. Swordsman. Yeah, 2018. So the producer of Opus Pictures is the producer of Man from Nowhere. Swordsman
Hmm.
Comgak is also produced by the same company and same producer. So he has the IP, right? So
Hmm.
during the shooting of Swordsman in Korea, I know we talk about films, talk about action movies, and I said like I really love The Man from Nowhere. I think your film there, I think that's like Leon the Professional, Man from Nowhere. They're kind of like I think they're on a par in terms of quality
Hmm.
storytelling and coolness and every cool thing that could happen in an action movie. They're on a par, and I really love that film. And he said like, "Do you want it?" I said, "What do you mean? Do you want it?" The rights already sold to every country except one country. And then if you want it, it's yours. Because I only give it to you if you want it. But I don't want people to play. I don't want other people to play it. I want you to play it. If you play in the movie, you want it, it's yours. So I kept that, that information in my head for until 2020 last year. And I met with this exciting, driven of filmmakers, producers that, what do you really want to do? I said, like, if I want to do that IP because I know I'm not trying to make it better. I'm trying to ruin it, but I know for sure it's been a while. That movie, like what, it's 15 years ago. So the
Hmm.
action now is moving so fast, and then the action back in 15 years ago, you watch it, and the action now is so many things already influence how action in terms of quality, speed, how to shoot action. So I believe if we can remake this for Indonesian territory, Indonesian language, and I'm not trying to make it better, but we can probably give my identity the way the way most action that I did. There's a certain level that I really want to achieve, and I tried my best to achieve. So I want to elevate the way I fight, the way action now is in terms of we can really do something because 15 years ago those fights are classics, every scenes are classic, but now if you see action change so much, and I just like if we can do it with now with our technical stuff with cameras that didn't exist back 15 years ago, all the techniques, I think we can probably do something unique and different with still honoring the IP, still honoring the original, but it's maybe something that people, oh, they're fighting the new style. We grow so much. I was just so itchy. If I can, there's a great story already there. Maybe we can do something with Kenji style because Kenji is potentially is going to direct with my Indonesian stuff, my experience in the raid, the night come for us, swordsman, Mortal Kombat. I pour it into this, and Kenji write the song for me, let me sing it, that kind of thing. Design that choreography, let me perform it, and then the script is already there. Is a remake. The script is already amazing. What we can do is actually to give a little bit of here and there something that action, that taste of action right now, this decade.
I'm really excited. I'm prepared to take a shower after watching it already. you mentioned you play a journalist, I understand, but you set a high standard for the rest of us in real life. It's like, oh no, we need to fight like Joe. This is unrealistic. So, but do you know any journalists who know how to fight like that?
Well, Indonesia probably we have some people that have like silat backgrounds when they were young in school. But not in a real life that people can fight like that and survive all those nightmares. Probably only Navin
And
and you, Doug,
Joe,
and you, Doug, for sure. I think you can survive
no,
as
no, I was
well.
working on a movie. I said this movie will set a really bad precedence for us trying to. Oh no, we can't fight like Joe. We're gonna.